For 49 seasons, one man walked the sidelines of Mount St. Mary's basketball games, and no coach in the history of Division I college basketball, not Krzyzewski or Boeheim or Knight, has coached more than Jim Phelan's 1,354 games.
It's been a great tenure for me here at the Mount, and I remember it was meant to be a stopping off place, but I never left.
Phelan came to the small town of Emmitsburg by way of Philadelphia. He played basketball at LaSalle and spent a year in the NBA with the Philadelphia Warriors. In 1954, he signed on as assistant coach at his alma mater under Hall of Fame coach Ken Leffler. That year, they won the national championship, but Leffler had another job in mind for his former player.
I came up to the office one day and he threw me a paper. He said, "You want a job?" And I said, "Where?" He said, "It's a small school." He said, "A beautiful place down there in Western Maryland, down near Gettysburg." And he said, "I think it'd be a great place to work." He said, "The problem you're going to have is that you're going to go there, you're going to have success, you're going to love it, and you're never going to leave."
When Phelan first arrived at Mount St. Mary's, he wasn't as convinced. His wife wondered where all the sidewalks were among the farmland. But before they knew it, Phelan had won 69 games in his first 3 years. He led the Mount to 14 appearances in the NCAA Division II tournament, including 5 Final Four appearances. In 1962, he coached the Mount to his first ever national championship. The same year, Phelan was recognized as the National Coach of the Year. But before he reached any of those milestones, he was instructed by the Mount president about his one and most important job responsibility.
He said, "I really don't care if you lose every game." He said, "But if you lose to Loyola, I'll fire you." And I said, "Oh, thanks a lot, Monsignor." I said, "I'll do my best." The first game with Loyola, we lost. And he walked the halls where my wife was working up there at that point in time, and he looked at her and he said, "Are you packing yet?"
But Phelan didn't pack his bags, not that year, and not until 2003 when he retired from coaching after 49 years and 830 career wins, 7th on the all-time list. In his first 15 seasons against the Greyhounds, he went 27-8. What began as a heated rivalry played twice a year is now a one-game affair. This year's game marks the 170th meeting between the two schools, the longest-running rivalry in the state of Maryland.
I'll be watching it on television. I think the game is down there, and I'm not going to travel. I'd made too many trips down to Evergreen, as they call it, and a lot of pleasant ones, but a lot of disappointing ones, because Loyola is a tough competitor, great opposition, and the rivalry is great. I just wish they hadn't cut it back when they cut it back from 2 games a year to 1. And you can't get even in 1 year. You have to wait a whole year after you lose. But it's still exciting. I still enjoy watching it, and I enjoy watching them practice and work out.
Coach turned fan, Phelan still attends every Mount home game and sits in the stands at half court. He says the game he watches isn't all that different than the one he coached decades ago.
It's strange, it hasn't changed a great deal. It really has not changed. I mean, you're looking for the same thing. You're looking for good outside shooters, you're looking for people who drive to the basket, and you look for big guys. And it was the same then, it's the same now.
What has changed, however, is the turnover among collegiate coaches. Phelan had opportunities to leave the Mount during his career, but none of them were worth pursuing. Instead, he stayed for 49 years in the same job, a rarity in today's college landscape.
Nobody has the patience to live through a couple of losing seasons, and I've had a number of those where, hey, there wasn't any threat to get fired or anything like that. It was get a couple more players and you'll be back on top of your game. And everybody is looking for a quick fix. In other words, thinking that making a coaching change will win them championships and recognition and fans all over the country, but it doesn't happen like that.
Mount St. Mary's has become home to not only Phelan, but to his wife and 5 children who are proud Emmitsburgians. He's still a familiar face around campus, whether it's to watch a game or visit his daughter Lynn, who serves as the Mount's athletic director. The court bears his name, his signature bow tie proudly displayed among the logo. The mount is as much a part of Phelan as he is a part of the mount. He's a city boy who arrived 60 years ago and thankfully never left.